what a fantastic way to start the weekend with that little music. That has calmed me down so much for this first live stream of 2023. I'm joined by Lisa from Lessons from the Core podcast and Dante from Business Breaks All Things Business podcast. And it's a Saturday, so I know that although Kim, Daouda, and Chris were asked to join, it is a weekend and it was a kind of a last minute event. So I'm glad we've got two of our brand new podcasters on the stream today just to talk a little bit about their podcast and how it's going. And yeah, I'm really excited and happy Saturday, guys. I hope it's been a fabulous week for you. So let's go to Lisa first. Lisa,
Happy
welcome.
Saturday. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Happy Saturday to everyone. It's nice to be here. Reminds me back through our challenge, our Saturday mornings. Yeah, it's really nice to be here.
Awesome. Yeah, it's just like a Saturday session before a
It's just like a
training
Saturday
session,
session, old
and it's
times.
just we're streaming it live instead. But I've got no coaching set up today. So Dante, how was your week? And yeah, I'm surprised you haven't put your podcast on your name tag.
Happy Saturday, everyone. Thanks, Chris. I will look at how to do it. I didn't really check the instructions, to be honest. I was just figuring out how to join. So I've been great. I work as a project manager 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, and then in the evenings, some evenings and most of my weekend, I do the podcasting as a side hustle, and it's going well. I think, yeah, it's 10 episodes in, really enjoying it, and quite a few episodes and interviews recorded in the background, plus some content that I'm excited to share in the future. So it's all good, and thank you, Chris and Lisa, for being here, and Chris giving me the opportunity to be part of this beta group and making sure that this launch and everything you've given us has really helped me accelerate what I thought I could do with podcasting. So really grateful. Thank you.
No worries at all. And then we've got Daouda who's just joined the podcast. Happy
Hello.
Saturday, Daouda.
Happy
For everybody who's
doing,
listening
Lisa,
on
Dante.
LinkedIn.
Hi.
Hey, Dada.
Hey, Daouda. So please introduce yourself and let the world know what your podcast is.
Hello, I'm Daouda Tamboura. I'm the host of Predictable Growth Podcast. It's a podcast about marketing and sales and how business can put a system in place that can generate them a continuous flow of leads and customers for their business. Yeah.
Awesome. I'm so glad that I was able to connect with all of you off that to just talk more about your podcast, and those episodes will be releasing soon. Once I've got somebody to create a nice intro and outro for me, so those episodes will be up very soon. And thanks for sharing some great testimonials and supporting me on this journey. Now I want to go back to Lisa. What has happened since launching the podcast? Has there been any exciting course launches, or have you been invited to some network? You've been nominated? Or, tell me. I know.
Yeah, lots has been going on. So the one thing is just like cheering for myself that I've been consistent with the way you taught us to just stay on top of our flow and, have a lot of things automated in that. So that's been really great because I launched it December 12th and I've been consistent each week. And so that's really exciting. We've had several like networking events here in Ottawa that I'm always getting out to. And yes, thank you. I did get nominated again for the Faces Ottawa Best Pilates Instructor Award. So I won it. That's behind me. I won it 2 years in a row, and nominated for a 3rd year. So yeah, that's been lots of fun, and it's been just such a cool process with thinking about which guests to have on and booking people and getting some things done, repurposing some things from before. So yeah, it's been a really cool process.
I'm glad that it's all kind of come at the right time. You've been nominated. Hopefully, you win. I've been voting, and I'll add the voting link in the comments after this so that people
Oh,
can go and
thanks.
support you. And hopefully, we can get you to win this time instead of
Yeah,
just
and
being.
there's a big party this year. So the last couple of years they didn't have like an awards party for it. So either way, it'll be a great networking event. And but yeah, it's just been super fun. And thank you to all of you for just such great sessions that we've all had. And it's been awesome. And it's so cool to see your podcasts growing and the guests that you both have had on. So it's such a great community.
And I feel like I've let the team down because, I said I was going to relaunch Talking with Experts and that hasn't happened yet. So I was trying to keep you accountable. But yeah, so that will be starting in February, March. I'm going to be doing, I've been doing a lot more guesting this month. So I've been on Lisa's podcast, which was an awesome experience. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being on. It was
Yeah.
great.
And I'll be on Daouda's as soon as I figure out how to speak French.
I think we can do it, Chris, in English. It's fine. We can
Yeah,
start
okay.
from that. Yeah.
Okay, let's do that. Great. So let's go back to Dante. Is there anything crazy that's happened since, or any good news you want to share about podcasts, or are you just happy with how it's going?
I'm just really happy with the process, focusing on continuous improvement rather than expecting something to happen immediately. But I've had some very interesting guests on my show. Not yet, those interviews are not yet released, but yeah, it's just really looking at the process, tweaking, refining. But the main reason I got into podcasting was to improve my speaking. And I feel like I'm still on that journey, but making significant strides in terms of communication, being able to see myself and even hear my voice back. It's kind of unnerving at first, but it's especially when you don't feel used to hearing your voice and you don't really like to see yourself played back. But it's very cathartic, and it's a great way to improve your speaking. So for me, that's the main takeaway. And also being able to talk to very interesting people. So I've had one very distinguished author I've interviewed recently, and again, reaching out to people in the technology space, which is my area with digital transformation. So I think you get to see things you wouldn't ordinarily see by just doing this. So I'm super grateful. There's been so much value and benefits on the side in terms of the business side of things, even though it's called Business Breaks. I'm thinking I'm actually starting to think about launching my own course. A few topics that I want to explore, but I'll test the waters, get some feedback, and see what might be worth pursuing. And then on the other side, a friend of mine who has his own recruitment business decided to sponsor one of my episodes. So I finally achieved my monetization goal ahead of schedule. So
Yeah,
that's the
your
other
first
thing, I
sponsor.
guess.
Yeah.
First episode sponsor. So all good.
Yeah, when I'm listening to all of you, either in the private group or publicly on here, you've got a lot of ambition and lots of goals, and I think we've been able to achieve some of those goals in the last 3 months or so. So, I'm really excited to see what happens for you as you continue to podcast and launch courses or get nominated for different awards, and we've got a lot of support. I know in the top hand corner we can see Podopolo there. Just want to give them a bit of a shout out. Only a brief shout out, but all the links for all the podcasts will be going directly to Podopolo, just because Podopolo helps you engage with our listeners, and also helps the podcasts that are on there get a little bit of help be monetized. So that's great. And we got a good connection with Robacus from Podopolo. That I believe he'll be featuring on Talking with Experts podcast. He'll be featured on Lessons from the Core podcast, and I'm sure he'll be featuring on some other podcasts this year. So Daouda, back to you. Thanks for joining me this week. We did a testimonial video last week, and it never recorded the video, so
Oh
we did it
no!
again.
You have to do it again.
And it was the best one because we got the testimonial English and in French, and I loved it. So, Daouda, what's
I
happening with
love the
Predictable
session.
Growth Podcast?
I'm having a lot of fun planning the content. Like now, my blog post, social media content, it's now everything is done. Like just if I have every episode bring me like 10 pieces of content. Can you imagine that? I have a blog post, I have some part I can just chop off and put on my reels on story, and man, producing it like sitting here having what I want to talk about, my mic on, and just me and my mic talking on what I want to talk about. It's really fun. I'm really enjoying it. I I will say that in the beginning, like the first two episodes, I was just like, man, it will be tough to to be really consistent with that. So I have to find a way. But in the last 5, 7 episodes, I'm just like here chilling myself like if I was in a kind of party. I'm really enjoying this, So it's definitely great. I think, like Dante says, it's bring me like show me some. Right now, I have a new way of how I talk and how I formulate what I want to talk about, my thoughts, and how do I say what I have in my mind. So the people that are listening to me understand what I want to talk about. So, this kind of stuff, it's really amazing, being able to articulate in a better way and to make sure people understand you even just by voice, and it's crazy. So I'm definitely enjoying myself with this.
And your friends love your podcast as well, and they've been supported.
Yeah, definitely. I'm having a lot of cheers. And I think on our last session, I was on a event and I meet some friend there who was talking about the podcast and how I launched it, how was the process, and I just told them about the podcast launch challenge. So yeah, definitely
Nice.
great.
I love it. So, what can people expect to see from or hear from your podcast in the next couple of months? And back to you, Daouda.
Yeah.
What's exciting? What's coming
So
up?
coming up, I'm planning on building a course that will only be accessible for people that already subscribe to Predictable Growth Podcast. It will be free for those people. And really, the podcast will be only focused on marketing and sales. So definitely I will be bringing on every episode, like not in every episode I will be taking a systematic part of a system that you really need to have in your business, and like break it down, like how you set up vision in your business, how you optimize it, and how you analyze it to find out if it's working, and how you should switch, how you should shift. Also, it will be really about that, and of course I'm planning on people that are already subscribing. So those
Oh
are
yeah, that's
people
a huge
that,
bonus.
yeah, that was the people that was there from the beginning. So I want to have some kind of thanks for them. So I'm really about to launch a course for those people soon.
Yeah, that's a huge bonus for anybody that wants to listen to Daouda's podcast and understands French to grab
Yeah.
the free course, because I'm sure it will help anybody optimize their marketing strategy, or at least build a brand new one, or understand more about the elements that go into it. But you need to know French, because Daouda's our
Yeah.
first French podcaster to launch.
Yeah, I didn't mention that, but I think along the journey, my English got a lot better. Like right now, there is some mistake and I'm spelling some word wrong, but yeah, I'm definitely proud of my English now.
Yeah. Have you noticed the difference, Lisa, with or Dante, with the Daouda's English? It's improved so much, I think.
Yeah, it's awesome, and it's just so exciting to have the bilingual podcast action. I love it.
So what?
And I
What?
loved
Oh,
seeing
yeah.
all your pictures from your networking event that you were at, Daouda. That was awesome, that one you were recently at.
Yeah, I think if friend shared that, I didn't share it, but he's the one who shared it. I just came on LinkedIn, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Nice.
Nice. So Dante, do you have anything that's coming up on the podcast that people can look forward to, or is there a particular interview that you're excited about that's going to be released soon? No.
No, well, I mean, it's just.
Who are you looking? What
I
kind of
guess
guests are you looking for?
Yeah, in terms of podcasting, what's coming up? I've got quite a number of exciting episodes. Some CEOs, a VP who worked at Uber, some very high level people, and like I say, a couple of last month I interviewed an acclaimed author. And in terms of guests I'm looking for, I'm actually looking to, now that I know what kind of my message is, I'm going to start targeting people in my particular space, which is digital transformation and change management, and then focus on specific areas of that. But to start with, I've got the fireside chat format that I do with my friend John, in terms of talking about various business topics where we set the world to rights. And I think where I'm going next with that is to add another stream, which will be solo episodes, mainly around digital transformation and my experiences, but mostly first principles. So there's a lot of the work I've done in the past has been covered by an NDA, so I can't go too much into that. So generally, I stick to first principles and just talk about analogies, also from peers and colleagues who are in the same space as well, talking about things that have happened that might be useful. I want to make it real world as possible, so non-textbook. It's about really those deeper lessons that you learn through cutting your teeth on transformation. So that piece, I guess, I'm excited about.
So if there was like your dream guest was listening to this stream, and hopefully they are, we've had a couple of people join. I can see that, like, a 1 at the top and a 2 at the top, and some people will listen on replay. But if one of those was the dream guest, or what would you say they do to apply to be on Business Breaks podcast? What are the steps? How would they get in contact with you for an interview?
Super easy. You go to my website, that's businessbreaks.club, and there's a couple of ways. On the episodes, there is a link where it will bring up my email details specific to the podcast, or you can just simply go click on a button where I have my first ever guest interview. There's a button right next to that on my website, next to David Kitchen. So there's a video there. And with the button, it takes you to an online form where you can apply to be a guest on my show. So really easy. Just go to businessbreaks.club. That's one word, business, then breaks, and .club.
Great, thank you. Okay, and Lisa, how would somebody who want? Oh, firstly, let's go. If they want to be a guest on your show,
Mhm. If they
and
wanna be a guest on my
they're the perfect fit, how do they apply?
Definitely. So, yes, I love to talk all things movement and meditation, calming things, like calming breathing exercises, things like that. But I also have guests on that are just telling their own lessons from the core, their stories about their own red flag moments and things in life that have led them to evolve and learn. So, whether it's, when you were on, we talked about some of your career transitions and things like that, just different tools that people have used to get through and discover those internal lessons, because sometimes we try to shut them down and not be
Yep.
aware of them for a while. So that's the type of guest that I have on. And then I've had other kind of solo episodes that give people like writing prompts and breathing exercises and just things to get you thinking about that movement and meditation. But I as well, just like Dante, have a Google form that they can find in the show notes on the podcast, and then a way to book in once that's complete. So yeah, I'm
Awesome.
looking forward to it.
And you look at what kind of guests are you looking for? Authors, publishers?
Yeah, authors, entrepreneurs, creatives, studio owners, anyone that has that lesson from the core that they want to share, going through some of life's things. And as I said, we can all look back on those red flag moments and do it a little bit differently, maybe.
Yeah, in hindsight, in
Hindsight.
hindsight lessons. Yeah. Okay. And Daouda, I know yours is at the moment is more solo based podcast, but if you wanted to have a
Yep.
guest on, except for myself, who would they be, and how would they get in touch with you to book an interview or yeah.
Yeah, surely I will have a guest coming on the show. Like it will, I think that starting from the 20, yeah, I think 20 episodes from that, I'll be bringing guests after every free solo episode. So that's the way I see it. And about the guest, it's about entrepreneur, it's about business owner who already have a business. And I'm not saying that the business should be profitable, but they have a business and they have at least, some client for, coming on. So that's the type of guest I want on my podcast, because yeah, my podcast is really about marketing. So it can be fun to talk with people, just chit chatting with people that have no business experience, but I don't think that will bring the value I want to bring.
Yeah.
So I really want to talk with people who already have a business. It doesn't have to be successful business, but they have a business that at least is, average, I will say.
Yeah.
That's the type of guest I want on my podcast.
Yeah, and I guess you would want to have somebody who is also passionate about marketing, so you can either bounce
Thing.
ideas off each other, have a bit of a debate about what strategy's working at the moment, or what they think's going to happen with this trend, or yeah. So I'm really excited to
Yeah,
let's get you to 20
definitely.
episodes.
Yeah.
You'll I can
Uh,
all see you having 50 episodes by the end of the year. I can see it. So it's going to be special.
yeah, definitely.
So thanks again for joining. I didn't want this to last for an hour, but thank you for sharing about how to get people to join the podcast. And if you are interested in listening to Dante's, Daouda's, Lisa's podcast, please check in the comments. And then just a big shout out to Kim Cullen from the Community Over KPIs podcast and Chris Acebu from Mental Arsenal podcast for also joining us on this wild roller coaster and for trusting in me to help with the podcast launch. Thanks to all of you who joined and joined us live on a Saturday. And take care, everybody.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you. Take care.